Good morning and welcome to Wayne Goldsboro Television. It is Friday, February the 22nd.
Friday. Woo!
I'm Kim Best.
And I'm Wayne Alley. Welcome to the Friday, the February 22nd. It's Washington's birthday, sort of. We talked about this last week. But it's a day that is observed as Washington's official birthday.
That's exactly
even
right.
though it's not President's Day. That was last earlier part of the week.
Monday.
I'm so confused. Anyway, welcome to Friday. Glad you're with us.
Yes, we are.
And what about today's program? Who's going to be there today?
Well, let's see. We have an interview today with Randy and Adrian. I believe you did a special project out at Goldsboro Battlefield Bridge.
I did. Randy SAULS and ADRIAN THOMPSON are going to be with us here in the studio this morning. And I'm telling you, this is a great interview. I enjoyed it so much because first of all, Randy's going to be talking about the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge back in December 1862 and how important it was to the effort of the South during the War of Northern Aggression. It was actually a war of secession. Some people call it a civil war, and Randy and I talk about that.
So stay tuned. We can't tell them too much.
I'm not going to tell you too much, but the question I have is the term civil war the correct term? You'll find out at this interview. Also, Adrian is with us. Adrian Thompson's with us. He played a very important part in making this battlefield happen. A very important part. You'll hear about that. In fact, it was his Eagle Scout project as well. So
he had a piece to do with it, didn't he?
Yes, he had a lot to do with it there.
Then we have TASHA Logan, Assistant City Manager, and Julie. I believe we have Julie
Daniel,
that's right. We have them both here. These ladies are talking about Goldsboro Rotary and the things that Goldsboro Rotary does right here in our community that you may not be aware of.
That's right.
And then we have Sherry Archibald once again, part two of the Paramount Theater. She was on yesterday and she's on again today talking about happenings the month of March.
The month of March,
That's
the merry,
right.
merry month of March.
That's right. It's a busy, busy time at the Paramount Theater.
Yeah, it is. What is it that comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb? Is that the March winds?
I believe it is.
Okay, so there you go.
That's right.
It is March now.
Almost.
Almost.
It's the 22nd of February.
That's right. Next week. We only have a week left in February.
I know. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe that. Cannot believe that. Well, coming up again, I want to mention, I talked about this yesterday, the Junior Livestock Show and Sale. If you're a youngster and you know about it, or even if you don't know about it, talk to Eileen Court at the Cooperative Extension Service, and Eileen can help you become involved with the Junior Livestock Show and Sale. This is a big event. Youngsters from the Wayne County area many of them end up going to the state competition and then on even further. So we're very proud of our agricultural community here in Wayne County, and if you're a youngster who has an interest in animals and animal husbandry and perhaps even the livestock show and sale effort itself, talk to Eileen Coit. She is at 919-731-1525, 731-1525. That's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is.
And youngsters learn so much from it. They take on that responsibility and it just makes them a better person.
Yes, I'm sure. If you are interested in starting your day with some pancakes and sausage.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, come on. No, I'm not kidding you.
She's not kidding me.
Come on out tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. from 7 until 12:30 p.m. The Wayne County Boys and Girls Club on Royal Avenue is having a pancake and sausage breakfast benefit.
They've been doing this for years, and it benefits the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wayne County, and it's just a fantastic event. Everybody wins here.
It says the Goldsboro Downtown Lions and the Goldsboro Host Lions Club will have their annual pancake and sausage day eat-in or take-out. Tickets are $5 and may be purchased from any Lions Club member or purchased at the door. An auction begins at 9 o'clock a.m. All proceeds to help the visually impaired and needy of Wayne County. The location is Wayne County Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, boy.
Interesting.
Oh, boy. And that's a lot of fun. That's tomorrow, and the food is always delicious.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Trivia question coming up in the next segment. It has to do with the category for today's trivia question is toys.
All right. Children will love that one.
Yeah. Today is the 22nd. That means tomorrow is story time with Ron Jones. Now, Native American and Hispanic folklore for children and their families. This takes place at the library on East Ash Street tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in Wheel Auditorium. All right. This is part of the Wayne County Reads program this year.
And we want to remind everybody once again about February 24th, we'll have some blood drives at the Princeton Bridge campus. The Bridge is the church, and they're on their campus behind the bridge. It's called the Bridge Carpenter House. They'll be having a blood drive. It starts at 8:30 a.m. and will go until 1 p.m. So come on out and be a part of that. If you have questions, you can contact Kimberly at 910-231-4795 to make an appointment.
24th is this Sunday.
I believe it is.
All right, there you go. And that's on Whitley Church Road in Princeton, right off Highway 70.
That's right.
Go up the top of the hill and it's on your right. Can't miss it.
No, you cannot.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, yes. Yes, here you go. George Washington,
Yes.
GW himself, born this day, 1732, a few years back.
Yeah.
And see, people don't stop and think about this. But before 1776, everyone born here was an English citizen.
An English citizen. That's exactly right.
Right. Think about it. They were British. Everybody who was born in the U.S. or born in the colonies up until 1776 was a British citizen, which makes one ask, during Longfellow's poem,
Yes.
"The British are coming, the British are coming." The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
Right, yes.
The British are coming, the British are coming. Well, that didn't make sense because the British were already here. Everybody here was British. Think about it.
We need to check into that one.
Well, yeah, we do. We'll check into that and get back with you. But it's just, I just thought it was interesting. But he took a little bit of license with that, which is fine. Poets do it all the time, all the time. Roses are red and violets are blue.
Yes.
What?
Finish the poem.
Oh, there's more?
There's more.
Oh, E-I-E-I-O.
What a poet you are.
I know.
What a poet you are.
I know.
Well, let's see, Wayne Alley.
Yes, ma'am.
The Arts Council of Wayne County is having beginners art classes for adults.
Oh.
That will begin Wednesday, March the 6th, 13th, and 27th. There's an experienced instructor, Lou Ann Smith, will cover basics from drawing to painting. Tuition for all these classes is $125. All the supplies are included in that. To find out more about beginner art classes for adults, you can go to the website, artsinwayne.org. artsinwayne.org.
I think that is fantastic.
Art classes for adults.
For adults, because there's a lot of people who, and I've heard people say it, you know, gee, I wish I'd started drawing
Exactly.
when I was a lot younger, or I wish I had done this, I wish it. There's no time like right now to get started.
You're exactly right.
And you're in a class with other beginners.
That's right. So you will not feel intimidated. It is
No.
all beginners, and they will walk you through step by step.
Shouldn't feel intimidated anyway, but some people do, am.
Well, let's move on and let's go see the interview you did with Randy SAULS and ADRIAN THOMPSON.
There you go. We have guests in the studio with us today. We're talking, first of all, with attorney and local historian Randy SAULS, and ADRIAN THOMPSON is with us. ADRIAN is in the Scouts. He's, in fact, an Eagle Scout candidate. So we're going to be talking with these gentlemen about the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge and the site in, just across the river in southern Wayne County. But it was about, what, 150 years ago?
150 years ago this past December.
December 1862, I believe it was,
Yes.
that the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge took place. And Randy, if you would, give us an idea of what happened out there.
Sure, I'd be happy to. In 1862, Goldsboro, North Carolina, was one of the most important cities in the South because it was an important railroad location. There were two important railroads that intersected at Goldsboro, the Wilmington and Weldon and the Atlantic in North Carolina. And the Wilmington-Weldon Railroad was particularly important to the Confederate supply chain because of all the goods and supplies coming into the port at Wilmington. And all the goods and supplies from the Deep South all came to the railhead at Wilmington, came up the railroad to Goldsboro. They were put in supply warehouses, and then they could be sent north, south, east, or west where they were needed most. And this fact wasn't lost on the Union Army, and so a determination was made actually in the summer of 1862. The planning really began as early as September 1861, but by the summer of 1862, the planning really began for a raid on the city of Goldsboro, and the effort was going to be all aimed at destroying the railroad facilities at Goldsboro by destroying the railroad bridge, which spanned the Neuse River just about 3 miles south of downtown Goldsboro.
Right, and this was, of course, in a time of war. It was brother against brother, and so much had been written and said about the war between the states, or the war of northern aggression, if I may. In fact, we'll get into that a little later on. I'd like to ask you about your opinion on something, but the idea was, if you want to win a battle, if you want to win a war, you cut off your opponent's supplies.
That's a great way to do it, as a matter of fact. You can't always win on the battlefield, and in fact, at that particular time, the North is having difficulty winning on the battlefield. But one thing they realized is that the South had very limited manufacturing facilities, and one of the things they could do was starve them of supplies. And one great way to do that is to cut off their transportation method for getting their supplies from where they come into the port to where they're needed in the field, and that was the idea of destroying the railroad at Goldsboro.
So that's why we were so important in this area. Well, give us an idea of the battle itself. What happened?
Okay, it occurred December 17th, 1862, again, about 150 years ago. It really began about 10 o'clock in the morning. This is a Wednesday morning. A federal army of about 12 to 14,000 men had marched from New Bern, North Carolina. They reached the area about 3 miles south of Goldsboro, where the railroad bridge is located. About 10 o'clock in the morning, skirmishing began, and it was a day-long battle. About 2 o'clock, they finally succeeded in pushing back the small Confederate force that was defending the bridge. There were only about 2,000 Confederates in this battle, by the way.
Really?
That actually were under fire at any given time. Some troops came in late in the afternoon, but at any given time, there were never more than about 2,000 Confederates. About 2 o'clock, they were pushed back. These were all North Carolina regiments, 3 North Carolina regiments at that point. And when they retreated to the north bank of the river, a Union force, an assault party rushed forward, and they were able to set a very harrowing tale, as a matter of fact, but they, under heavy fire, rushed forward and set fire to the bridge. At that point, the Union commander, General John G. Foster, unleashed all his artillery, about 30 pieces, and they helped tear down the superstructure of the bridge as the flames were sort of doing the rest of the job.
So it was the middle of December, December 17th, as I recall. What was the weather like?
It was cold. It was a clear day, but it was a very cold time, at least at night. Now, a lot of the Union troops that fought in this battle were actually from New England, and they wrote in their diaries and journals that to them it was like a spring day. But in North Carolina, you know, it was in the 20s at night. They left tales in their diaries talking about how the water in their canteens froze at night. So to us, that's pretty cold. To them, it was not that bad, and I'm sure in the daytime it was probably, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably maybe the upper 40s or low 50s. So
bottom line, the end result was the bridge burned.
The bridge did burn, yes.
And then what happened after that?
After the bridge was burned at 2 o'clock, the battle continued during the afternoon. It began to sort of tail off after that. But about 4:30 in the afternoon, a Confederate force recrossed the river over the county wagon bridge, which had not been burned and which was about a quarter of a mile or half a mile upriver from the location of the railroad bridge.
Towards Smithfield, in that direction.
That's correct. And it is essentially beside where Highway 117 bridge is now located. Okay. Right. They crossed back over. They had been reinforced by a 4th North Carolina regiment, and these 4 regiments counterattacked the Union rear guard that had been left on the field to sort of cover the withdrawal of the Union Army back to their base at New Bern, from whence they had come about a week earlier at that point. And these men charged across the railroad tracks, the high embankment, which is about 15 feet high above the level of the fields at that point. And unfortunately for them, sort of at the last moment, additional Union troops came back on the field, caused in part by the fact that the Confederates gave what we always hear, the rebel yell.
The rebel yell.
Well, the rebel yell was great, but it kind of alerted the Union as to what was up. So the men rushed back. That's right, rushed back on the field. And they ended up facing about maybe 18 cannon and better part of about 3,000 muskets. Wow. And they were pretty much, they were mowed down, and that sort of ended the battle just about dark on the 17th of December.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
So was the bridge built back?
The bridge was rebuilt actually about 1 or 2 days after this battle. Instead of being 2,000 Confederates in Goldsboro, there were about 20,000. They came in very, very late. They got here too late to have been involved in the fighting, but they got here in time for a lot of them to be detailed to begin rebuilding the bridge. And this occurred, I think as I recall, the first mail train crossed in early February, and by probably mid or late February it was open to general traffic again. So the Union had been successful in slowing down the supplies for the Confederates, but you have to keep in mind this was intended to be a part of the Fredericksburg campaign. The idea was that a Union victory in Fredericksburg, Virginia could be aided or augmented by a victory in North Carolina by burning this railroad bridge. Then a Confederate army that had been defeated in Virginia could be denied resupply, and the war brought to an end. Right. And so Foster in North Carolina did his part. He did burn the railroad bridge. But of course, the Battle of Fredericksburg was a disaster for the Union.
Yes.
They sustained about 12,000 casualties. And so strategically, it didn't work out the way they wanted. Tactically, it was a brilliant victory for the Union.
Wow. So the area is on the river near Highway 117. In fact, what, about 1,000, maybe 100 yards?
Actually,
east?
once you cross the river, once you cross Highway 117 bridge across the Neuse River, you were on the battlefield.
On the battlefield.
Technically, you're on the battlefield before you cross the river because Confederate positions were on the north bank of the river.
Oh, okay.
And the battlefield property that has been preserved as a battlefield park or a place for visitors to come is actually located on the south bank of the river.
Right.
But there was fighting, certainly artillery fire on the north bank as well.
Well, I remember when I moved to this area about 26 or 7 years ago, there was a house on that property, and it's a farm area. How and now, of course, it's been made into a field, a battlefield. It's a battlefield site. How is it different now than it was in 1862?
The part of the battlefield that is owned by the county and for the benefit of the people of Wayne County as a battlefield park has changed very, very little. There is a barn on the site now that was not there in 1862. There was a barn there at the point, but it's not the same building. Right. The field that comprises most of the battlefield was an open field at the time, as it is today. We keep it under cultivation. The county's good enough to work with the farmer to keep it cultivated so that it will have the appearance that it did in 1862. There's also a creek, 2 creeks on the property that haven't changed, and the wood line is the same it was in 1862. Really? We know this because of maps that were left that were drawn by a Union engineer in 1865. So we know what the battlefield looked like.
We have a map behind us, in fact, of that site.
That was actually, what you're seeing behind us was a drawing done by a war correspondent. Of course, today they've got cameras and microphones and technology. Back then, this correspondent that traveled with Foster's Army, he sketched this. And it's a pretty good representation of what the area would look like. And in fact, if you really know where to go, you can go out, drive out to the area today, and I can pretty much put you within a few feet of where this artist must have been standing.
Really? Wow.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah. Really. That's so interesting. Now, how long has the county owned the property?
The county got the property sometime, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the early 90s, very early 90s. It was transferred to the county with the idea that it would be preserved because the battle had occurred there. Right. And then about 6 years ago or so, after a couple of sort of false starts, I put together a nonprofit corporation, approached the county with the idea of developing it just as volunteers as a battlefield site. And they very quickly took me up on my offer, and sort of since then we haven't looked back, and with the assistance of the county we put in untold volunteer hours making the site what it is. We've done a lot of improvements out there. We've built bridges, we've refurbished the barn, we've built Confederate winter huts, you name it, fencing, all the sort of things, and it's done almost exclusively with private labor, so it's a nice public-private sort of partnership.
Well, it's a beautiful area. It's great for anyone, even whether they're historian or historically minded or not. It's a great place to go out and just walk around.
It's a big place for dog walkers. We found that a lot of people like to go out and just either walk or jog or walk their dogs and that sort of thing. We don't allow vehicles on the trail. There's a walking trail that's about 8/10 of a mile, and so you can sort of calibrate, what you're doing, if you're doing it for exercise, if you want to walk your dog, or if you want to stop and read the signs. There are about 10 historical interpretive markers as you walk the trail. You can stop and find out what happened at any particular point.
Including going on back to the river.
Yes, you can. You can go back to the original bridge site. There is a bridge there now, a railroad bridge. It was built in 1910. It's made of iron, and it's in the same location, however, as the 1862 bridge.
That's the same location?
Oh, absolutely.
How about that?
Yes.
Now, the site itself, your organization has done a wonderful job out there, with particularly with the fencing. That's just beautiful. I love that fence, and of course the whole area is beautiful out there. The monument. Where did the monument come from? We have one granite monument, the one you're speaking about, and actually I'd love to take credit for that, but I can't entirely. I was actually contacted by a group from around Charlotte, and they go around the country, and particularly in the South, and they erect monuments on battlefields, usually Civil War battlefields, but they've done
some Korean War things and some Vietnam, just veterans monuments and battlefield monuments. And they, one of the gentlemen actually had an ancestor that fought at the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge, and that's how he was interested. And so they offered to help us raise the funds to be able to put this monument up, and it actually cost us almost nothing.
Really?
Yes, it's made of granite. It's about 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. On the front it has a narrative describing what happened at the battle. On the reverse side it has an order of battle and describes all the various units from both sides that fought or were present at the battle.
There's also now a nice, beautiful flagpole, U.S. flag, and how did that come to us?
That's a great story and a good example of maybe being in the right place at the right time or knowing the right people, I suppose. There was a bank downtown that had a flagpole out front, and one weekend someone lost control of their car. We don't know exactly what happened, but they hit the flagpole and knocked the flagpole down. It's about a 40-foot flagpole.
Right.
And very substantial, and it was on the ground for many, many months, and we were able to work out a deal finally with the bank, and they essentially donated it to the Goldsboro Bridge Battlefield Association. And then it sat in our barn because we didn't really have the manpower or the funds at that particular time when we got it to be able to put the flagpole up, but it's up there now, and it looks great. We fly the American flag on it, as is a modern American historical site, and very happy to have it.
All right, and I know Adrian had a major role in this.
He did.
How did he come into this?
Well, Adrian Thompson wanted to do his Eagle Scout project at the battlefield, and he can tell you certainly all about how that came about. But one of the things we wanted him to do was to help us get our flagpole out of the barn and get it in the ground and up in the air the way it should be instead of collecting dust. And he was very instrumental in having that happen.
So Adrian, you needed a project for your Scout project. Now, how did you happen to know or find out about the flag?
Well, for I don't know how many years, but my dad's been involved with the Goldsboro Bridge Battlefield Association and done reenactments with them or with Andrews Battery and all that stuff. So I've kind of grown up the past couple of years going out there and helping out whenever they did stuff. They actually have a little footbridge crossing one of the creeks, and I helped build that too. And I've actually participated in 1 or 2 reenactments at the site. But as I was coming up on getting my Eagle, I needed a project. So me and my dad talked about it, and we decided that it would be good to do one at the battlefield, since that has been a part of my life for the past couple of years. So
you have this 40-foot flagpole lying in this big barn out there, and the barn at the time had a leaky roof. So, and it's been fixed since then. It's beautiful. But you had this big flagpole, and what about the flag? Where was the flag with the flagpole?
The flag came from a donation that I received for my Eagle project. So part of the Eagle project is fundraising and receiving a bunch of donations and stuff like that. So it's just another donation that went along with my project.
So then you had to arrange having the flagpole put in place. How did you do that?
Again, I raised all of this money and all of these materials. I think it was around $10,000 in materials.
Wow.
And around 200 something service hours.
Wow.
But the flagpole, I basically worked out a way to get it, because when it had been knocked down, it had been bent significantly. So I worked out a way to get it re-altered and reshaped, and then had a base put on it so that it could stay in the ground, and then dug a 27 cubic foot hole, I guess, in the ground, and then set the flagpole with the base down in the ground, and then filled that hole with concrete. So
I would think that a flag that's constantly waving in the wind and the flagpole itself with a lot of weight, there has to be a lot of foundation there to secure that structure.
Like I said, there's about 27 cubic feet of concrete in that hole, and the base of the flagpole goes down about 3 feet into the ground. So.
Oh, and tell them how we got the flagpole to stand up. We didn't just lean it up.
Yeah,
you didn't just put it up there.
Well, of course you have to have it straight. So we got a plumb bob and kind of figured out just with shadows, I guess, and with the string, just how to make sure it was completely straight.
Really?
But then we got a fire truck from a volunteer fire department and raised the ladder on it and had it was suspending the flagpole in the air pretty much as we were setting it in the ground.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
that's
it was
a great
it
part
was
of the
pretty
project
fun.
too, is getting the fire department to help out.
Yeah,
it
which
was
they
fun.
did
That's
as
right.
volunteers, and
Right.
which was again just a great public-private
Wow.
partnership. What a great! You got the Scouts involved, you had
Right.
the Goldsboro Bridge Battlefield Association
Right.
involved, and had the fire department
department.
involved. So
Yep.
yes.
And of course, the bank was very generous in their donation as well.
One bank donated the flag, another one donated the flagpole. So, and actually another company donated the ball that goes on top of the flagpole because that was
Yeah.
missing, it had been destroyed when it fell
Ah,
down. So
okay.
we actually had a lot of donations and a lot of volunteer labor to make this happen.
A
Wow,
lot of donations. I
Very
think it was
good.
also about $10,000 in donations too,
that's wonderful.
as far as materials and money.
That's wonderful. So the general public was helping as well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this was quite a project for you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people involved, a lot of volunteer time, a lot of effort.
And also the 600 feet of snake rail fencing in front of that side of the battlefield.
Right. Okay. You were involved with that as well then.
Yes. Well, one half of the battlefield, it's kind of split in the middle, I guess, with a line of trees.
Yeah, there's a creek.
Yeah.
The battlefield, there's a creek that runs through the middle, and we had put this sort of typical battlefield-looking snake rail fencing on part of
Right.
the battlefield.
Right.
And we had the funds to buy most of the rest of the fencing, but it takes a lot of effort to be able to put the fence up. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
doesn't go together by itself.
Not
So
by
that's
itself.
where Adrian came in and helped us get the volunteers and material and money and so forth to be able to help us get the fence up and get it completed.
Well, congratulations on that, Adrian. There's a lot of work involved with that, and I know your scout troop and your family, and of course Randy and everybody with the association's proud of the work that you've done. Congratulations on that. I wanted to ask you one more thing, Randy, about the terminology of what they call the Civil War. Now, as I recall, a civil war is a war where the two sides are fighting over which would take over the government. Now, that was not the case in the war between the states, was
No,
it?
it was a war of secession. So it was not really a matter of the South or the North, for that matter, saying I'm going to take over the government. It was a more matter of one section of the country saying I don't want to be associated with you anymore.
Right.
And in that respect, it's not a revolution in the way you think of a coup.
Right.
Taking over a government, it's more a matter of separation. And of course, as far as what we call it, as in every war, the side that wins gets to decide what we
What
call
it's called.
things in the history book. They write the history books, so we'll call it the Civil War.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I appreciate your coming in and helping
Pleasure.
us out with this today. And Adrian, it's always great to see you, and congratulations again for your fine job and great work out there at the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge battlefield site. I encourage everyone to go by there, if for no other reason, just to go for a walk. It's beautiful out there in the springtime and the summertime especially.
It is.
Yeah. So if you need to walk, you can go anytime, of course. It's always open, except at night, of course. What are the hours of the...
Basically, it's open during daylight hours.
Yeah,
We don't really
that's
have an opening time. A closing time is sunset, as the sign at the gate will tell you.
Lots of parking.
Lots of
Easy,
parking,
easy to get
absolutely.
in, easy to get out, and there's plenty of restaurants around as well.
True.
To picnic, okay?
That's right.
Great, thanks a lot.
very
Randy
welcome.
SAULS of the Goldsboro Battlefield,
Goldsboro Bridge Battlefield Association.
that's right, what he said. And Adrian Thompson, an Eagle Scout candidate. Thank you very much, sir, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we're back.
We are back on WGTV today, Wayne Goldsboro Television. And before we go any further,
Yes.
I have your trivia question ready.
All right. I'm ready to hear it.
Trivia question category for today is toys.
Yes.
All right?
Okay. Tell me the question.
What toy is 80 feet long when you take it apart?
80 feet long when you take it apart.
Okay, maybe not take it apart, but what toy is 80 feet long? It's a toy, and it's 80 feet long.
Has it been around for years?
Yeah, it's been around for years.
Has it?
It's been around for years.
Is that the right answer?
Let me get-
Slinky.
Slinky. Let me get a... That's right.
That's right.
Right. We're going to put a muzzle on her. Okay.
I'll be doing over here doing my little.
Let's find another trivia question for today, shall we?
We
What do you
shall.
have? It's your turn.
Let's see what is happening.
Hey, I don't know.
Oh, I know one thing that's happening.
Hmm.
There is it's called a clean and ride. There's a trail cleanup and bike ride sponsored by Friends of Wayne County Greenways. It is happening this Saturday, February the 23rd at 9 a.m.
Tomorrow morning.
It's tomorrow morning. It's the location where you go to actually start and help with the cleanup and the bike ride is 1 block north of Ash Street, across from Stony Creek Park. It's right behind the Lantern Inn, corner of Durand and Peachtree Streets. They're meeting at the Stony Creek Greenway parking area. Let's see. They're going to clean up the trail, and they're going to ride the 3-mile single-track bike trail that has been recently completed. Oh my goodness, they're going to clean it up, they're going to get it ready for everybody to be able to ride. You can ride it now, but they want to make it even better, and they want to make it more interesting for these bike riders. It says directions to the event: join Scott Barnard, a guest lecturer, to learn about the trees and other natural things along the Stony Creek Park.
Strings.
Yes. For more information on greenways in general and what all Goldsboro is doing to make our greenways better, you can call Becky Craig at 919-731-6142. This is the Friends of Wayne County Greenways. If you'd like to help, you can show up Saturday morning behind the Lantern Inn.
That works.
Yes, it works.
Strings. Hello. Okay. All right.
You hadn't found a trivia question?
Well, I found several, but none that really work for me. You know, they
Okay.
have to work for you.
I understand.
Okay. What else do you have?
Well, there's a winter glitz that is going on at Mount Olive College.
A winter glitch.
Glitz.
Oh, glitz. Oh.
A magical evening at the circus.
Oh.
This Saturday, February the 23rd, 6 o'clock p.m. The cost is $75 per person or $125 per couple. The location is Mount Olive College at the Lois K. Murphy Regional Center, which is 634 Henderson Street, Mount Olive. The theme for the Winter Glitz is the circus event. It's a magical evening at the circus. Guests will enjoy the thrills of the big top with entertainment, elegant dining, and special vocal performance by our local American Idol contestant Blair Mazingo, former Miss Goldsboro. A live and silent auction will be held to raise money for student scholarships. Come be a child at heart for this evening and special events. If you want to find out more information on this, you can call 658-7822 to purchase tickets. Ann Ham is who you need to speak with, Ann Ham. That's this Saturday night, Mount Olive College.
You ever go to a wedding?
Yes.
You know, they used to throw things at the
birdseed,
bridegroom,
rice.
birdseed, rice, and that sort of thing.
Flower petals.
Well, originally it wasn't
Balloons.
birdseed, flower petals, that's right. Balloon, throw a balloon? Used to throw a balloon?
Not balloons, bubbles. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Blow bubbles.
I throw
It's
bubbles
one of
all
those
the time.
mornings. Just too early.
Okay, it is morning. Good
Yes, sir.
morning. They threw rice, you now throw birdseed and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes.
Originally, what was thrown at brides and grooms when the tradition was started that you threw something?
Was it edible for someone?
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
It's not slinky, I'll tell you that.
No, but that's not edible.
That's true.
The
it's not.
original thing and why, do we know why we throw things at the bride and groom?
It's supposed to be, you know, like for
Best
good
of luck.
Yeah. And before this, they used to throw like
Yes.
buffalo and bison and things, but
No,
they didn't.
they
no.
didn't.
No, they really didn't. I just made that up. But they used to throw this
Mm-hmm.
at the bride and groom. This was before the tradition of rice and birdseed and all that. What
Bubbles.
was it and bubbles? What was it they threw at the bride and groom for good luck?
Just think about it. Scream out the answer if you know.
Okay.
All right. I don't know, Wayne. You've got my interest sparked.
Okay. Okay. The Literacy Connection of Wayne County needs volunteers. If you can help, you do not have to actually be a teacher. You don't have to be a tutor. They tell you and show you how to do this. They train you at the Literacy Connection. Now, if you feel that you can help, they only need you for 2 hours a week. More if you can, but if you have at least 2 hours a week you can spare, you can actually help someone learn to read. This is an adult literacy program. You're helping adults learn to read or perfect their reading skills. Now, when I say that, it's, you know, some people can read, but they have difficulties reading.
Right, exactly.
They have a problem with dyslexia or whatever. And there are reading programs that can help you learn to read and overcome any sort of reading difficulties you may have. And this crosses all boundaries, regardless of how much money you make or how little money you make, regardless of from where you come, even if you're from up north. It's okay. It's okay.
Wayne.
Okay. Anyway, call the Literacy Connection. They can help. I'm just kidding.
Okay. He's kidding.
I'm kidding.
Kidding.
The number is available at waynegov.com.
Yes, it is.
It is. Here it is. 735-1990. 735-1990. Call the Literacy Connection. Talk to Pat Gates, and they can help you help others learn to read or read better.
Well, Wayne, I believe it's time to hear what TASHA Logan and Julie Daniels have to say, along with Sherry Archibald at the Paramount Theater. So stay tuned. Good morning. Joining me today is TASHA Logan, who is the president of the Goldsboro Rotary Club, and Julie Daniels, who is also past president of Goldsboro Rotary and a current member. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
We have so many things that Goldsboro Rotary does in our community that I would like for you ladies to share with the community what Goldsboro Rotary is all about, and Rotary International as well.
Wow, I tell you, it's hard to kind of get all that in one statement, but I think
You have 10 minutes,
I
right?
have 10 minutes to get all that out, but I think, first and foremost, Rotary is the oldest service organization in the world, and I think that's something that a lot of people might not realize, but it actually began in 1905,
Yeah, I'd say it's been around for a day or two, right,
That
Julie?
That's exactly right.
And we started off in Chicago, a lawyer, an attorney, founded the organization, and really it was focused on, I want to do something good in the community. And when you think about the projects that Rotary first started with, it was public restrooms and parks.
Really?
Public restrooms and parks.
They just saw a need?
Saw a need in the community, and I think that's one of the things that I like about Rotary is that regardless of where you are, the organization is so flexible that it's what the members want to do in their community to make a difference.
And Kim, that one little club that started in Chicago now has 34,000 clubs worldwide and 1.2 million members.
My goodness. Well, we have quite a few Rotary clubs right here in Wayne County.
We do. We have several clubs that are right here in Wayne County, so if there's one that you're interested in that fits your schedule better, you have the opportunity to go. But our club is the oldest club here in Wayne County, and we meet at the Country Club. We're a noon club, so actually not noon, but 1 o'clock. We meet at 1 o'clock on Thursdays at the Goldsboro Country Club.
Every Thursday, every week.
Every Thursday, we're there. We're there.
So tell me, what is the overall purpose of Rotary, period, just the Rotary Club? Is it to fight a particular type of disease?
Well, we obviously have some local community-oriented projects that we do that's kind of specific to our club. But yes, Rotary International, kind of the signature fundraiser that's been done since 1985 is the Polio Plus campaign. And what that is trying to eradicate polio throughout
The entire world?
The entire world. And we've come a long way, and I don't know all the statistics, but I think there's only 3 countries that are left that still have cases of polio. So, over the years and millions of dollars later,
Absolutely.
we've definitely made a true dent in that, and hoping, I think our ad now says we're this close.
That close.
We're that close? Okay.
So we're this close to
eradicating polio altogether.
worldwide.
Well, tell me some of the things that the community may not recognize that Goldsboro Rotary does right here in our own community.
I think one of the most visible ways that Rotary touches our community is through our youth. I don't think a lot of people realize, but our signature project for our club is our dictionary project every year. And that is something that we really love and enjoy doing, but we actually provide dictionaries to all the 3rd graders in Wayne County. And I tell
Every
you,
year?
Every year we do
And
that.
every 3rd grader. We do
Public and
private,
Homeschool.
homeschool.
Oh, great.
We cover everyone.
So, we get in there, we get the boxes, we have a sticker that goes in the front of their book, and for us that's important because this is a book that the students own. A lot of times this might be the first thing that that student may have that is theirs. So when we take it to the schools, we allow the students to write their names in it. It can be used in the classroom or at home, but we also put the Rotary 4-way test in the book. And for us, the 4-way test, this is what we ask ourselves in our personal lives, our business lives. There's 4 questions that we as Rotarians ask ourselves. And for us, it's, is it, will it, is the way that I remember our 4-way test.
Will it,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Maybe we should ask him. Like
Ask him what it is.
Rotarian.
But you have to know the 4-way test, and that's something that when we're out there and we're talking to our students, we go over that 4-way test with them. We ask them if they know what it means, but it's about building goodwill and better friendships. It's about are the decisions that we're making beneficial for all? Are we thinking about the entire community in our behavior and how we're acting
in our everyday life?
Our everyday lives, and that's what matters. It's not just about what we do when we get together on Thursday, but when we leave there, how are we behaving and are we making the good decisions?
So it sounds like Rotary throughout the world has the same goal in mind, and that's to do good things in your own community.
Exactly.
Correct.
Do good things across the world and just live good lives. Rotary here in Goldsboro, like you said, we do the dictionary project. What are some of the other things that Goldsboro Rotary is involved in?
We've done Salvation Army ringing the bells, so we've collected money for the needs of the people in our community at Christmas time. We do Meals on Wheels on a regular basis, of course serving through the Wages program.
Right.
Last year we had a project of doing the teen room, renovating the teen
with the
room
Boys
at
and
the
Girls
Boys
Club.
and Girls Club.
And that was a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
actually, got in there and
Did some cleaning.
we realized that we were doing some heavy duty cleaning in there and moving furniture around, which was actually a way for us to work together in our community as a team. I think one thing that I enjoy is also the golf tournament that we have.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And one thing that I like about that is each year we typically choose which organization we want to work with. When we did the Teen Center renovation, we focused on the Teen Center that year of raising funds. But this year we are moving back to just calling it our Rotary Open, U.S. Open.
That's
We're
right.
going to have the
US
Rotary Open.
Okay.
And we'll be focused on building our community grants here. That's something that we haven't done in the last couple of years, but we like to be able to help our local organizations. So it may be that there's a need that an organization may have. In the past, we've given money to the Arts Council, we've given money to different students to go see shows at the Paramount Theater. It's just whatever that need might be that comes in, we want to be able to fulfill it for our community, and this golf tournament allows us to raise funds to do that. And that's going to be in April.
That's what I was going to say.
April
When is it
30th.
and where is it?
It's April 30th. We're going to be at Walnut Creek Country Club.
Okay.
8:30 shotgun start.
Oh, wow.
It's $75 a player. We have sponsorship opportunities available.
So
And
anybody can play?
Anybody can play. So we're looking for anybody that wants to come out and play to be a part of that event.
Well, how's the best way for somebody to get in touch with somebody if they're interested in being a part of this particular golf tournament that's coming up?
GoldsboroRotary.org
There you go.
website.
All the contact information is there.
GoldsboroRotary.org. You can send a message or an email to members. And that's usually the best way to get in contact with us because we're all in different places
That's
and
right.
we're spread out, and each year leadership
changes.
So the website is the best way to keep in contact with us.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like Rotary in general is a lot about volunteering.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
Many of the things that I continue to hear you talk about are volunteering, and that's what the members, they do. They participate and give back to the community. How about membership? Is Rotary something that people can apply to be a part of?
We have a membership process. Rotary is open to anyone. If you would like to be a member of our club, just come and visit with us. Just call a Rotarian and we'll sponsor you to come in and visit our club. And there's an application process. We like to make sure that our organization is diverse in terms of occupations and also just the membership makeup. So there's an application process and it goes before our board. But really, if you are exhibiting those 4-way test qualities and those are listed.
And living that life.
And if you're living that life and you have a passion for serving in your community, then this is an organization I think that you would enjoy. And also, we have the opportunity to share what we do here in Goldsboro abroad. We're going to have a team here from Japan.
Yes, that is April 27th. So during that 3 days, they'll be from the 27th through May 1st, and we'll be entertaining them here in Goldsboro and taking them to visit various places throughout the community.
To see our community.
Right, learn about Goldsboro and the different vocations we have here.
Is that something that we participate in every year?
We do. We've been doing that for at least the last
Yeah, 10
longer-
years,
yeah,
I guess.
at least.
A while.
At least since I've been in the club.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me that when we have visitors come, a lot of things are very similar. You know, but there are a lot of customs and things that are very different.
Right.
But you know, when they come to Goldsboro, our community is so welcoming and so warm. They
Yes.
love to learn about government. They love to learn about how we make decisions and who our leaders are. But they also like to be out in the community and figure out, okay, what are our issues here? How do we address concerns in our community?
How different is it and how similar is it to
It
their
is.
country?
And there are a lot of similarities. There
Well, I know
really
last
are.
year we had a group come from Germany,
We did.
and that was so interesting. I took them around city government. It was interesting to hear the questions that they would ask and what their concerns were. Many very similar to what we talk about and where our concerns are here locally.
Sometimes we have to be careful with food, though.
I'm
Right.
sure.
Our diet is
sure.
a lot different from what they're used to
I'm
eating
sure.
in their homes.
So how many participants will come from Japan this year?
There are 5 total. There are 4 kind of team members and then 1 group leader that they have. It's actually 4 females this year that'll be coming. The group leader is a gentleman that's in his 60s.
So these are people that are just business people in the community
Yes,
They are.
in Japan,
in Japan.
and they're coming through Rotary
right
to
right.
come here to
They're not
Goldsboro, North Carolina.
They're not Rotarians
Right.
themselves. You cannot be a Rotarian to be on the team. The group leader is a Rotarian. So, you know, this is an opportunity for them to learn more about Rotary as
Right.
well. And
Another country and Rotary.
that's right.
And
See it
also,
firsthand.
typically they also want to learn about how someone in their same vocation carries out their job. So while they're here, you know, they might be in banking.
Right.
So, you know, they would pair up with, you know, a banker here.
Right.
They may be involved in government
Interesting.
there, so we would pair them up with someone in government here, and they would follow that person and kind of shadow them for a day.
So very much like
So
job shadowing.
it
You'll
is.
spend some
It
time
is.
with somebody just from another country.
You will, you will.
Well, that is neat. All kinds of things that are happening in Goldsboro Rotary and then also just Rotary worldwide. We appreciate you ladies coming and talking about and sharing with the community
you.
what Rotary is all about. Thank you for being the president this year and taking
Enjoying
on
it.
that role. And
Got a
thank you
great
for
group.
doing it in the past. Yes, Goldsboro Rotary is very involved and continues to volunteer and give back. And if you're interested in finding out more about Rotary, what website do they go to, Tasha?
GoldsboroRotary.org is the website for our organization.
There you have lots of contact information and lots of general information if you'd like to learn more about what's happening here locally. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned about Rotary International and locally.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Archibald here at the Paramount Theater, and we're preparing for a lot of wonderful productions coming up in March. And one of them is a very loyal user of ours, Goldsboro Ballet, who has been participating with the performing arts in Goldsboro for over 30 years. Mary Franklin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So 31 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting. So
And
you have been participating for a long time too, haven't you, Mary?
I get to follow the line of one of the first dancers to being the assistant director and moving in.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
And you guys have Cinderella coming up.
Yes,
A
this is
fairy
our-
tale for many.
Wonderful. It's our 3rd time putting on Cinderella. Mom did it back, well, the 4th because she's done 2 herself, and then I came back and helped direct the one in 2004, and then this will be a revamp of 2004 with a lot of new things.
Well, talking about your mom,
Yes.
Peggy Wingate, of course, she originated the Goldsboro Ballet, the School of Ballet, 31 years ago.
Yes.
And tell us about how you obviously probably were there growing up in this world of ballet, and when you started kind of working so closely with her as assistant director.
Of course, back in '77, my mom and dad moved to Goldsboro, and they were downtown for the first time. And coming from Virginia and South Carolina, downtown was an area to walk around. So as a child, I walked around the streets of Goldsboro and got to see the old theater and be a part of the railroad, the derelibration and the bringing back of the Paramount Theater. And I've got to see my mom take a ballet school and turn it into ballet productions and see it grow. And then I moved away for several years and then came back and was able to come back in and reground my roots and really see Goldsboro Ballet grow a lot over the last 13 years that I've been back home.
And I would imagine just kind of re-energize things.
Yes.
I'm sure that your mom loves having you to be such a strong part of this. You two are partners together in this.
Definitely, we balance.
And do a wonderful job. Of course, Nutcracker is a tradition for us.
Yes.
We have that production here every year, and then your spring is always is just always a wonderful production, and it's usually a fairy tale that they're able to follow. But when you're thinking about a fairy tale and you're thinking about ballet, I think one thing for our folks to remember is, there isn't words that are being said. It's the art of ballet, the art of dance. But there's also a lot of comedy in this,
There
too.
is. Cinderella, especially our two stepsisters.
I can imagine.
They're so much fun. And Debbie Baker, our costume mistress, has taken some of the British hats and made some of the most beautiful and funny hats to go on top of purple wigs and white wigs at the court scene. And the two girls, we had a big audition for the stepsisters because that part, not only do they have to be good dancers, but they have to be actresses.
Exactly.
They have to carry on clean technical dance and at the same time as looking goofy and mischief, and that is a very difficult thing to do. And the two girls I've been very happy with, Lindsay Lloyd and Patricia Falk, who've taken on those roles. Along with the other dancers, they've really stepped up. Cinderella's a very detail-oriented ballet, and there's 3 acts, and we've consolidated it to 2 acts while still covering all the same material, just to make it a little bit easier for our parents to get the grip of the 2 scenes.
Wonderful.
The 2 acts and the 3 scenes.
Well, let's talk about what kind of, for our viewers when they come to see this production, what kind of scenes can they expect to see? What kind of dances?
The scenery, we are working on whether we're going to rent or whether we're going to continue to tackle on. Our local artist, Jamin Howell, who's our guest performer, is a wonderful visual artist, and he really would like to paint the court scene.
Wow.
And so he's got his sketches out, and we're in the process of that, but we do have a backup plan to rent, a scenery, but it will be something new for Goldsboro to see, a new backdrop. We're pulling out the forest scene, not like the snowflake forest scene. This is actually an enchanted type of forest with fairies, lots of fairies with lots of wings. We've had so much fun. We've actually ordered custom wings for our fairy godmother.
Oh, wonderful.
And they are just amazing how the light's going to bounce off of them. And then we have the house also,
Thinking
of course,
about
Cinderella's
wings,
house.
you guys, of course, Goldsboro Ballet was the first to have a group to fly when you had Mary
Yes.
Poppins here. So I'm not surprised that you are having something unique and original as part of this production. So
Definitely.
that sounds wonderful. And of course, this event is coming up. It's on March the 9th and 10th. On the 9th is a Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Right.
and Sunday the 10th at 3 p.m.
Yes.
So I certainly encourage our viewers to pick up your phone, give us a call here at the Paramount Theater, because we are processing tickets for them right here at the box office. It doesn't get any easier to get your tickets. You can also do it online at goldsboroparamount.com or call us at 919-583-8432. That is to see Cinderella presented by Goldsboro Ballet. Mary, thank you so much for being with us. We
Thank
look
you
forward
for
to
having
having you here and showcasing this wonderful ballet
Thank you.
for our viewers.
Welcome back.
We are back on WGTV today, Wayne Goldsboro Television, and so many things going on around the area at the Senior Center on East Ash Street. There's so many things going on. They have a social club called the Sassy Seniors.
Sassy Seniors.
Sassy Seniors. The social club called the Sassy Seniors is the purpose is of the club is to make new friends and plan outings and events. They call themselves the Sassy Seniors. The Sassy Seniors' first event was to go to a dinner together back in February, and I think they did that. Sassy Seniors are 55 and above, and you are invited to join them. You do have to register in advance so they can give the restaurant a correct number for reservations. If you want to join the Sassy Seniors for an outing, talk to Erin McAuliffe at the Senior Center at 705-1785.
They have all kinds of things happening at the Senior Center.
Yes, they do. All kinds of things.
Yes,
And you know
they
what?
do.
Every time you go out there, the parking lot is packed. And because everybody loves the Senior Center. They're all in there doing exercising and reading and working together.
That's right. We're just very blessed in our community to have so many things to offer our senior citizens. And we're so lucky to have 2 different locations. We have the Senior Center, which is large and has many activities going on. Then, of course, we have the Senior House, which is a smaller, just in a more of an environment where you just sort of lay back, play cards, and it's just a little quieter scene. So we're lucky that we have the best of both worlds.
That's right.
And Wayne, actually, over at the Cliffs of the Noose,
Yeah.
Something fun is happening this Saturday.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
boy.
called an outdoor cooking potluck.
Okay.
Let's see what
That
that's
sounds
all
good.
about.
That sounds good.
Starts at 11 a.m. Show off your outdoor cooking skills. The ranger will also prepare a meal. Take any items needed to prepare your meal. There will be a feast about noon with all the dishes of all the people that have been cooking outdoors. To sign up, though, you need to call the park office at 778-6234. That's this Saturday, 11 o'clock. Be there, ready to cook your meal, bring everything, and then at noon, you'll have a great big meal with everything that everyone who participated made.
Oh, boy.
A big feast. Outdoor
Hey,
cooking
boo-boo.
potluck. That's right.
Hey, yeah, all right. Talk to Ranger Smith.
That's right.
Oh, it was on this day, looking at our almanac very quickly, when a burglar in Great Britain, this is a British burglar now, was sentenced to a year in prison. And how did they catch this guy? Let me tell you how they caught this guy. He left his ear prints
Uh-oh.
on the doors of the houses of his victims. They said the burglar would press his ear to the doors to listen before entering to see if anyone was inside, and left conclusive evidence on each house. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Ear prints. So the thing is, if you're going to rob a house, cover your ears. In 1999, a man held up a bank in Bexley, Ohio. He wore a black cap. He wore his house slippers, house shoes, blue and white checked pajamas. Police would not say how much money the robber got. No one was injured. And that's all the story says. That's not a very bright story, is it?
No, I wouldn't say
Good.
that is.
No. Consumer advocate Ralph Nader entered the U.S. presidential race as an independent this day in 2004. Birthdays today include Drew Barrymore. A birthday today for Vijay Singh, the golfer. Also a birthday for Dr. J, that's Julius Erving. He is 63 years today, my goodness. And Michael Chang, the tennis star, is having a birthday. He's 41.
Happy birthday.
Happy, happy, happy.
We want to remind you we have a city council meeting on Monday, March the 4th at 5 o'clock p.m. in the large conference room. We'll have the work session, and then following that at 7 o'clock p.m. we'll have the formal meeting in council chambers in City Hall. That's Monday, March the 4th.
And we'll certainly encourage you to also attend the commissioners meeting on the following morning. That would be March 5th at 8 a.m. for a briefing, and then at 9 o'clock for the actual meeting itself. That's on March 4th
And March 5th.
And there you go.
Right.
Today's trivia question.
Yes.
The toy is 80 feet long after it's kind of taken apart.
What might it be?
It's a slinky.
Slinky.
You know what a slinky is,
Yes.
right? The chain, the spring thing.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
We did?
We did. We talked about that earlier because our producer guessed that one. Yeah, we had a
Right.
different question.
Oh, we
You asked
did.
a second question.
What was the second question?
What was that second question, Wayne Alley?
Wedding cake.
It was about throwing stuff.
Throw-
Oh,
yeah,
that's
throw
right.
stuff
What
at the
do you
bride and
throw at
groom,
the
that's
bride
right.
and groom.
Okay.
They threw wedding cake?
They threw wedding cake. They'd eat a little bit of cake and then
Really?
throw it.
Well, my
Yeah,
goodness.
That's right. That was the answer to the trivia question.
And nowadays it's bird seed. You don't see too much about rice anymore.
No.
I think that hurt the stomachs of the birds.
That was the story.
Yeah.
That it hurt the tummy.
I see a lot of bubbles. And, people, bride and groom will sit them at the table and things like
Yeah.
that, and you just blow little bubbles as they walk
Yeah.
by.
I
Throw
s-
rose petals.
I see little birds blowing bubbles too, but yeah.
Oh,
that's,
well.
The thing is that they threw wedding cake at each other.
That's pretty interesting.
Of course,
That's an interesting fact.
that's an interesting fact, and I won't go any further than that right there.
That's
All
right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you've learned more about what's happening in your area. And on to Monday's show, we'll have somebody from Goldsboro Parks and Recreation here to talk about the shad tournament that's coming up.
Oh, boy.
And we'll have Work First presentation. So stay
great.
tuned and join us on Monday morning.
Monday morning at 7 o'clock, again at noon, again at 5:30, and then in the evening hours, we'll be right here. So join us for WGTV today, and until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and we're your hometown connection for news and information.